Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and if this is your first time here, I just want to say welcome. This is Kelly with RC Mechanic, and we are working on the Jeep project. This will be part 5 of this series, and I've had to change the name of it due to the coronavirus thing going on. It really it started out as the post-apocalyptic Jeep, but those kind of words are just not very welcome. So just want to cover what I've done. Alright, I have trimmed back here and up here, both sides. I'm gonna grind a little bit off here and up here on both sides, and I'll most likely run some brazing over it, just to keep it smooth. Alright, and in this video what I'm hoping to do is to do the cab, right? So I've already bent a couple pieces right here, and I did these by hand. Actually, I just kind of like, if you look at a full-size piece, you can see it bends really easy, right? So, but when you get to these tight bends right here, that's a whole lot more difficult. So let's see if I got the right side. So my thought is to go with this kind of style right here, with the curve. I probably have it upside down. Let's try this way. Or let's try this way. One thing I can do is I can always modify the bend of this windshield right here to accommodate what I need to do. Alright, so looks like this one is made for this side. What I need to do is kind of do an angle right here. And I'll most likely just go off and grab my belt sander and just put a slight angle to it. And then I'm going to go ahead and braze this together and this together. I'm sorry, you can't see that. This together right here, and put the cross piece across here. I want to do is braze that all together at one time. So I'll most likely do the top first. Okay, so I still have this sitting on the body just because I'm just, you know, like, wow, this thing has turned out so good. You know, once I get the top in, the cab in, then I can go ahead and put together reinforcements up on top, reinforcements on the back side, so that you know, if you're on the trail, if I don't have it completely done by then, at least I can run it and won't have to worry about this up here all bending up, right? So after that, most likely be at the next video, we'll be mounting the back. And I was thinking about running a rod across right back here. I was going to do one back here, but there really isn't a lot of room. I'll have to kind of like set 2 magnets right there just so I know where I need to put it, I guess. But the cool thing about ring magnets is that they are self-centering, right? So even if I still use the posts up front, excuse me, the posts up front, if I have the ring magnets in the back and I have them set exactly where they should be, they really should self-center. So when I go to set the back on, it'll like, boom, there you are, right? So I was thinking about doing the reg magnets in the front too, with these body posts, and kind of like, you know, cutting these off and putting a reg magnet underneath there and one up against the body, so that I'll just have a totally magnet. The only thing is there with that is I'm gonna have to fill in these holes. So, you know, does anybody have any suggestions for that? Filling in the holes? If not, well, I guess I'll come up with something. I'm not too concerned about the rear right now. That's kind of like an afterthought. That's kind of like a just a one of those things you do for looks, not for functionality. But this truck will need a cab. So, and one other thing I also realized is that this motor transmission right here is totally in the way. Alright, so being that's totally in the way, I'm going to have to do something with that. And I know in many videos ago, when we were working on the RGT Jeep, I said something about maybe not doing anything with this, but you know, a lot of things have changed since then. So, so I'm looking at moving this, or maybe a different transmission, up in the front, up in here, taking out this receiver box, relocating a bunch of stuff, and I might go with a RC four-wheel drive transmission. I don't know. We do have like things like, let me take this off for a sec. We have the speed controller right here. It's in the way, I mean, which is rather big. I could put a hobby wing one in there and be a lot smaller. The servo is in the way. The servo is actually pretty good servo. It's got a lot of strength to it. I don't know what it is, but it does have a lot of strength to it. And then the receiver box right here, I'm debating whether I need to just hack this thing all up or what. Maybe I'll just use this front piece right here, put the receiver on top of the servo. I'm not sure. But anyway, that's not the focus today. The focus today is on doing the cab, right? So let's go ahead and put this bad boy away for now, because that's much later in the project, and we can most likely still use this truck. We just won't have an interior up in here, right? Alright, so here we are with the Jeep. Alright, so I'm going to have to pull the front clip out of here because the heat doesn't go good with polycarbonate, and I did do, like I said before, I did do some trimming down in here. There's a whole lot more trimming I need to do and grinding, but you know, we'll cover that later. There's also a lot of welding I need to redo. So, I mean, I got a bunch of stuff here in place, but I'm seeing some, like, here's a gap, like right here and here. Now I got the, you know, the backside all covered really good, and good penetration there, but not out here. So stick around for that, because we're going to work on the cab. Okay, so using the belt sander that was donated to me by a great friend of mine, I have been able to figure out exactly, sand this angle right here to figure out exactly where it needs to be, right? So next up will be I will braze this in, and then we'll go on to the other side. Okay, so at least I managed to get this part and that part all brazed together before I ran out of oxygen. The next part of this will be putting a cross member across here, and then doing an, let me just move this. Yeah, cross member coming across here. So we're going to have like 4 joints. Or actually 3. 1, 2, to come together with 3 with the cross member all the way across, right? If I could do that, then the tricky part about brazing is that if you heat it up too much, then you unbraze what you've done. So except for the welding part, I mean, I could weld it, but it's kind of like I don't know. I mean, it could be a lot of things. It could be I could weld it, but it'd be welding to brass and it won't stick. I need to cut these off up here so I can fill it in with brazing. So I think what we're going to do is just give it a shot with this cross member right here, and we'll go from there. So stick around, because that's next. Okay, so what we got to accomplish today was we got these right here put in on both sides, right? And if you look on the back, the very back, you can notice that they go in. They don't go straight, they go in. And that is because the windshield, the way it's made, it curves up and in. Alright? So when it comes to reinforcement, I think what we're going to have to do is come up from here to here and here to here. I'm going to have to eyeball that. And then from here to here and here to here. I'm not sure if I should use tubing or solid steel. If anybody has any comments on that part, make sure to let me know. Actually, I've just been winging it this whole build, so as you can see, maybe you can see how everything just curves in right here to the top of the windshield, and I think I did a pretty good job brazing that. So only trick to brazing is that if you got more than one joint going on at one time, is that you run the risk of unbrazing the other joint. So when it comes to this one and this one, it looks like it may have separated a little bit, right? On this side, looks like I could have put more up on top, and the bottom was fine, right? So the next time we work on this, we'll be working on the cross members for the top and for the back of the cab, and if we have time, maybe we'll do something with the windshield part, kind of like coming down to here and down to here. I would really like to tie it in with these braces that are already on the hood. So, but at the same time, I don't want to get in the way of the line of sight for the driver. So, and apparently we're going to be putting a driver in it. Okay, so when it comes to brazing, I just gotta tell you, if you can see that, that's how much of my first brazing rod I have left. It's one. I'm on my third tank of oxygen and one brazing rod later. I can see that after our crisis with the virus is over, I'm going to have to get a better torch setup. But for now, this setup is working really well. And if I were to get some more oxygen, I only have one container left. So if I was going to finish this, I most likely will have to get at least 2 or 3 more. And I gotta tell you that it's really expensive buying it in these small bottles. It's a whole lot cheaper to get a big bottle and just have it refilled, and even if you're leasing it, than it is to get these little bottles, because it's like $37. The cheapest I found it online. I think I've been getting a lot cheaper at Home Depot, but you know, it is what it is. We'll just keep doing it, and until we're done, and we'll go from there. Once this virus thing is over with, you know, I may have to just revisit rebrazing stuff later. You know, as long as I get most of this stuff done, right? So if you like what you saw, you know what to do. Just give me a like, click, share, subscribe. I'm on Facebook as RC Mechanic, and I'm on Instagram as RC.mechanic. So I'll see you either here or there.